this is Dash, and today, again, I'm gonna be using Vicky. I have some ribs I need to do today. We're doing 6 racks of baby backs. Sit back, watch me work. Let's get the smoker started. Yo, this is Dash. Get ready. So I'm back out at the smoker. You guys saw me last get the ribs cleaned up. I'm gonna get the smoker set up.
Two hours later.
All right, this is after about 2.5 hours, and it's starting to come out really good. I'm gonna get these guys sauced and then back into the smoker.
12 seconds later.
All right, so now it's time to set the sauce. Okay, I'll be back out here in about an hour.
1 hour later.
All right, so I am back out at the smoker, and I forgot gloves. So I'm going to temp these, just kind of see where they are. There's 149 on that one. These are up top, so I was expecting them to be a little further along. There's 164 on that one. Hopefully you can see that. But what I'm gonna do, the sauce is looking good, looking decent on these guys. I'm gonna go ahead and let them hang out maybe another half an hour or so. I'm glad I came out here to check this. I'm noticing that the water in the bottom of my water pan is actually dried out. When I went to start the smoker today, I did not actually fill it up because I knew I wasn't going to be doing a very, very long cook. But the water's dried out, and with the water being dried out, the drippings from the ribs would start to give off like a burnt grease type smell. So I'm gonna get some more water down into the smoker, and I'm gonna rotate the this rack up here and take this one and move it down. All right, so now that I know that I've gone ahead and added some water into the bottom of the smoker, I'm actually going to open up the intake all the way. I'm actually going to open up the intake all the way because I know that this water is going to actually slow things down. So I can, if I want to keep the smoker going at the about 250 where the probe is, right about here, I need to open up the intake. So I'm going to do that. And I had turned the thermometer off because I thought I was going to be taking them in the house, but nope, not yet. So like I said, I'll let them hang out here for just a little while longer. I want that sauce to really set before I wrap them up, and I'll take them in the house and get them finished. All right, I'll see y'all in a bit.
Eventually.
All right. This is what I want to see. I wanted to see some good dark color on these guys, and they're all about the same color. So now I'm going to pull them off. And if you guys are probably, if you guys are wondering why I'm dragging, last night was my turn on the hot seat with CJ. So for those of you guys who were here for that video, you know how long ago that was, and well, I might throw this video up a little out of order just so it's closer. But you guys know I had a rough night last night, and I'm a little bit tired. Was up to well after midnight, got up at 4:30 this morning, still made it to work on time. All right, so let's get these ribs out, put into a pan. If you saw the video where I cooked ribs on the Traeger, I'm going to arrange these ribs into a foil pan. Now, when I did that video on the Traeger, I told you that I usually can fit up to 6 racks in one foil pan. The difference is these ribs down at the bottom are much bigger than these ribs are up at the top. So I'm not going to actually put them in the same pan because they're going to finish differently. Also, because of the fact that we're cooking on 2 different grates here, 2 different racks, the top rack is a little warmer than the bottom rack, so they're probably at different temperatures at this point as well. So I'm gonna get these guys out of the smoker, out of Vicky, and into some foil pans. Yes, that's hot. Hello? All right, thank you. Bye. Yo, these things are hot. I need to get some additional gloves on. What do you guys think? I look good or what? Oh yeah. Ooh, look at these guys here. Woo. Last but not least,
tomorrow for sure.
Alright, so it's the next day, and the ribs are done. They are chilled, cooled. I'm gonna get them ready for today's events. So, ribs come in packs of 6, or excuse me, packs of 3. The order I had was for 4 racks of ribs. I really hate when I get orders for 4 racks of ribs, because that means I have 2 racks of ribs that I have to figure out something to do with. Usually, not that big of a deal, not that big of a problem. I told you guys earlier when I was cooking the ribs, and I had 3 racks that were on the bigger side, and then I had 2 racks that were a little smaller. So the 3 bigger racks, okay, here I'll try to hold that still so I can zoom in and post. And then the 3 smaller racks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 from the bigger pile and 2 from the smaller pile, and those are going to be the ones that are going to be going to the customer. One of the bigger ones, and I can already tell which one it is. One of the bigger ones is darker than the others. I'm going to hold that, and that'll probably just be for my family. One of my favorite aunt, I think she might be in town. She might get the other rack. So, let's get it done. Okay, so whenever I usually get ribs together for a customer, I just pretty much pick a rib, pick a rack, and that rack is what they get. So I'm going to take one of the smaller racks, and these are half catering pans. I'm going to take the half catering pan. Now these ribs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So these are 14 bone ribs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to come in, cut right in between the 7th and the 8th rib. I'm going to get them in a half catering pan. Alright. And that would be how I would sell that rack of ribs if I were to sell it. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 bones. 6. So we're going to come right in here. Now, if the rib is too big to fit in the pan this way, you just turn it that way. You might end up having to do just like that, stack it kind of on top of each other. When I slice down in the ribs, there's a natural curvature of the rib bone. I just follow that curvature and I cut them up that way. I think to make this easier on myself, because I've kind of limited myself on the amount of room I have here, I'm going to slice them in half first. So the young lady that is getting these ribs from me is actually, she works in my building, and I asked her if she wanted these ribs to be sliced up in single bone or in like a double bone. She told me she wanted single bone because folks get greedy. I said, I agree. So I'm slicing these up in the single bone configuration, and I mean, that's a pretty meaty, that's a pretty meaty rib. And I'm just gonna take my time. Alright guys, so there you have it. That's how I would go ahead and, or that's how I take care of getting some baby back ribs done for my family, for my aunt, for customers. Typically, when I do baby back rib orders, I don't slice the ribs up for the person unless they specifically ask me to. I just gives them the option to slice them however they want to. There have been a few times when people have asked me to slice them up, and I will. One particular instance, I had an order for 33 racks of ribs. There, 33 racks of ribs. It was an event through a bank. They asked me to come in and bring some food, and the person said they wanted ribs. They were like, you know what, we want ribs, but we want a lot of ribs. And I was like, okay, well, how many is a lot? They were like, let's do 33 racks. Like, random number, so I had 33 racks of ribs. Yes, I pulled every single piece of membrane off of those ribs. Yes, I sliced up every single one of those ribs individually, and it was a good event. I got nothing but positive feedback on those ribs, so that was cool. But I say all of that to say, ribs are easy. To me, I've done a lot of ribs as well. I know I don't do ribs as often on my channel, just because I don't get called for ribs all the time. I get way more requests for brisket, pork, and chicken. So one of the other things too, I will caution you about ribs. Ribs are a harder food item to portion. That's why if someone is having a party, I don't always recommend ribs, because there could be that one person that can eat a whole rack of ribs to themselves, or there could be that one person that doesn't eat ribs at all. So you have to kind of use your judgment there. Anyway, thank you guys always so very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Don't forget to turn that notification bell on so you can be notified whenever one of these videos goes live. I think that's about everything, and I'll see you guys next time.